This is the plaintiff, Linda Daniels. She says the defendant is her husband's niece, who she moved in with, and it was a disaster. The defendant's boyfriend started a fight with her. She was kicked out of the house, her belongings thrown into the street. Now she's out $670. That's why she's suing. This is the defendant, Darcel Dennis. She says the plaintiff agreed to pay rent, and when she asked her for it, she snuck out of the house and took everything but her bicycle. This woman has some nerve suing her in court today because she's the one who's owed money for unpaid rent, for crying out loud. She's accused of tossing it all away. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $990 for 5 months' rent and lost wages.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket, the plaintiff is suing her husband's niece. Plaintiff moved in with her and says the defendant's boyfriend started a fight with her and kicked her out. And the defendant says, the nerve, the plaintiff snuck out and didn't pay rent. It's the case of low rent.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Okay, Linda Daniels, you are suing Darcel Dennis, who I guess you used to live with, for items you say she refuses to return. You're countersuing for rent. How did you end up living there?
I got out of incarcerated, and my husband was staying there.
Your husband?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
and what's her husband got to do with you?
That's my uncle.
Okay, are they married?
No, ma'am.
Okay, are you married?
No, ma'am.
Okay, that's not a husband. Do you know what husband means?
Yes.
So that's your boyfriend? How long have you been with him?
26 years.
Oh, that's, jeez. That's more than most marriages, but anyway. All right, so you were released from jail. What were you serving?
A year and a day.
For what?
For violation of probation.
For what were you on probation for, and what did you purportedly do to violate it?
Some weed.
And what were you on probation for?
For weed.
What did you do to violate the probation? Weed?
Oh.
More weed.
More weed? What? Is that it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So you go to live with him and you approve that?
Well, at the moment, while my uncle was with me at the time because I was over his SSI check because I was his guardian because he had nowhere to go, and he was on probation as well, on house arrest.
What was he on house arrest for?
Drug charges.
Okay, and what's his SSI check for, what disability?
I believe it's like his learning.
All right, so he was living with you?
Yes, ma'am.
And then were you cashing his check?
I was his payee.
You were the payee?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and then you would let him live with you, and would you buy him food, and how did that work?
He had his own food stamps, so he was able to purchase his own items. I just made sure all his bills and everything got paid.
All right, so she moves in. Like, did you say, no, you can't move in here? I mean.
Well, we came to agreement with my uncle to where she pays $150, he pays $150.
Did she ever pay her $150?
No, I
Did
never
you ever get the
received
$150
payment.
from him, or you just took it from the check?
I got it from the check.
Okay, so did you take her $150 from the check?
No, ma'am.
All right, so did you ever say to her, you got to get out, you're not paying?
Yes, I did.
Well, she moved in and when?
October.
And when did you say you've got to get out, you're not paying?
It was, I want to say in January.
You want to say in January, but it was in February, right? I mean, you waited months and months and months. Why didn't you just kick her out before then?
Well, my uncle took care of it, her money, when he got in.
Did your uncle take care of her rent?
Yes, he did.
For which month?
October and February, October and September. No, October and November. Sorry
And November.
about that.
Then what happens in December?
She came to agreement. She was trying to find a job. I was trying to be nice with her on her behalf of paying me rent. And she was agreeing to give me the money. She never gave me the money. So then it got to the point to where I was getting behind in my bills, and I gave Miss Daniels a phone call while I was at work. And
This was when? In February?
Yes.
Okay.
And I gave her a call while I was at work, and I had told Miss Daniels when I got home from work for her to have the money. If not, she had to go.
You told her she didn't have the money, she had to go, and what did she say?
She was gone by the time I got there.
Okay. Did she take everything with her?
Yes, everything but her bicycle.
Okay, she left her bicycle there. All right. Now, according to you, you left things there.
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Why did you leave things there if you were leaving?
Would you ever sue your spouse's niece for doing dirty by you?
I'd probably work it out, like on a family.
Well, if they're not going to pay you, would you work? They're just not going to pay you.
They're just not gonna pay me.
Yep. Say yes.
Yeah, I would.
Of course you would. Of course it would. Going inside the courtroom.
At the time, her boyfriend started in the altercation with, she was talking to me, and he jumped up and like ran towards me, and I said, you don't want to do that. So I just finished putting on my shoes, and I said, well, I'm just gonna go outside and I'm gonna call the police. And so I heard her say to him while I was standing on the walkway, don't do that. Don't do that. Put the clothes back inside. You can get in trouble for that. So I say, well, I tell you what, have my clothes back in the inside by the time I get back.
All right, and then when did you come back?
I came back the next day, and she come back with her sister Shantae and a couple of more of her sisters and them around to the house. And I would say, I just want my clothes and things. All I want is my belongings. And they was like, you're not getting nothing. You owe me some money. I said, what money do I owe you?
What money did you owe her?
That's what I'm saying. What money
How much were you paying to live there?
We had just made an agreement that I'm supposed to pay her $50 a week. And
had you ever paid any rent the whole time you were there?
Yes, when my husband was paying it out his check.
Okay. According to her, he paid October and November, which is interesting because you're suing for October and November. But he paid your part for October and November.
Yes, ma'am.
But December and January and February, who was paying that?
Nobody was paying it because there wasn't no agreement made to pay it. The agreement
So
was
what
for
happens?
me
You're just going to live with her free?
No, ma'am. The agreement was
It takes you guys 3 months to make an agreement?
Hey.
So what are the bottles of medicine that you say you left behind? What medicine is it?
It's hypertension medicine.
Where did you go to get the medicine replaced?
I didn't go nowhere to get it replaced.
So you're just not taking your hypertension medicine?
No,
That
ma'am.
sounds pretty irresponsible. Why wouldn't you just go to the doctor or get the prescription refilled again? Because by enough time has passed that you'd be able to do that.
Yes, that's possible. I could have went to the doctor.
Okay,
and got it refilled.
where is the medicine? Because the medicine is what concerns me the most.
She has her medicine. She took it. The medicine that she's talking about is the medicine they sent her home with from prison. Now, there's items at my house that do not belong to her, that belongs to my uncle. Those are his items, and I'm not giving them to her because it belongs to him.
I don't think she's suing for that. The 2 jackets you say are women's jackets. They're your jackets, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Describe them.
One is black with the hoodie, and the other one's black with pink in the inside of it.
Do you have any receipts for any of the items that you're claiming, the values that you're
No,
claiming?
because all my personal mail and all that was locked up in her house, too.
You know, at some point you got to grow up and be an adult and be responsible for something.
Yes,
She
ma'am.
says she left jeans, tops, shorts, and dresses there.
No, ma'am. And all of her items and stuff that they had was in a storage where I made sure I paid that storage bill. Then my uncle had got another girlfriend, gave her the key to the storage. So she said she threw the key somewhere. So I purchased another key in a lock cutter. We went to the storage, which is surveillance. I cut it off, and we replaced the lock. And I gave Miss Daniels both of the keys. So if I wanted to steal any of her items, I had the time of stealing it while she was incarcerated for that year and a day. So she has nothing that I really want. I was just trying to help her, which you can't help someone that, don't want to be helped.
All right. Moral support or a witness?
A witness.
And what is your relationship?
This is my mom.
Okay, honey. And what did you want to tell me?
While my mom was staying there, she was taking care of my cousin's child, taking her to work, cleaning, cooking, making sure everything was good. So while my mom was paying her for those 2 months, after that, my mom was trying to find somewhere else to stay at and trying to save up her money, so they told her she didn't have to pay anything as long as she was taking care of the kids, cleaning up and everything.
Was she
like that.
taking care of whose kids was she taking care of?
Darcel.
Okay.
Taking her daughter to work, taking her daughter to school every morning.
Is that accurate?
No, ma'am.
She's out, right?
Yes, ma'am.
According to you, the only thing that's still there is a bicycle,
Yes,
right?
ma'am.
All right. In terms of the medicine, the clothes, the jacket, and the shoes, I have no idea if you left stuff there, if you didn't leave stuff there.
But they said she had to
But
ship
also, you need to make sure your mother goes and gets whatever hypertension medicine
ma'am.
she's supposed to be taking
She
before
already got it.
Stop talking. Before she has a heart attack, and then everybody says, "Oh, I wish we'd all paid attention." Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so she needs to get new medicine. People lose their medicine, and then you go and you get new medicine. That's how it works. All right. Does she have insurance?
No,
How are you
ma'am.
getting your medicine? Who pays for your medicine?
I have to pay for it out of pocket.
There you go. Then go pay for it out of pocket again. All right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, we're done. Let's talk about, the things that you say are still there. I'm ordering you, and I mean it, okay? Do the right thing. If there's anything else of hers besides the bicycle, I want it conveyed over to them. Okay?
There's nothing there, ma'am. And
All right.
I'm just like, honestly, if
But you have a very difficult case. You say, I have stuff there. I have no receipts. I can't prove it was there. The uncle's not here to testify that it was there. The uncle doesn't have, you don't have an affidavit from him.
She has the stuff right there in the closet.
Say it again.
She has
I
a
have
video that shows
showing
that she
my
has.
stuff was in the closet.
How would you be able to take the video?
I was standing up there in the house one day and just took a picture.
Why were you, why?
always do
What would
that.
compel you to do it?
She's full of. Ain't nobody told me to do it. I do it all the time.
Why would you leave it there?
Okay, I need you to just put a lid on it.
I'm gonna try.
If you don't think you can make it, you can step outside.
Okay, I don't think I can make it.
Go ahead.
Let me go.
Okay, so go ahead and hand that to my bailiff, who will bring it to me, and we will press play and see why one tapes her own closet.
You can see majority of the stuff, but it's more behind
What are you
me.
saying? This is just a picture of you. I see that there's something on top of a shelf. That's supposed to be proof of what you're saying? All right, here's your video back. I find that you're unable to prove your case against the defendant. The defendant's counterclaim for $990. I find that you are also unable to prove your claim against her for the rent. For one thing that makes me suspicious, you are suing for rent from October. You've already in here under oath testified that her rent for October and November was paid by your uncle, so I don't know why you would be doing that. There seems to have been a very loosey-goosey agreement between you guys, which you were perfectly fine with, but now all of a sudden you're not fine with, and you don't get lost wages trying to collect rent that you just lost on. So on your lawsuit against her, 0, on her lawsuit against you, 0. Good luck, folks.
Where my phone at?
Ms. Daniels, are you going to, number one, important, you're going to get your medicine?
Yes, sir.
You sure of that? If you'd step over here, you're gonna make sure your mother gets her medicine?
Yes, sir.
All right. And what about your bike now? You're gonna help her make sure she gets that?
Make sure she gets everything from out of my cousin's apartment.
All right. Well, good luck to you. Sorry.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. All right, Ms. Dennis. You will give her the bike back? It's still there, right?
Yes, it's still there.
And anything else there?
There's no other items there. Miss Daniels took all her items. I don't know how she left her bicycle, but I have no problem with her getting the bicycle. I had no problem with her getting her other items. By the time I got home, Miss Daniels had left with everything.
Okay, very good. All right, thank you very much. Okay. All right, Harvey, what do you think?
Hey, if it's a relative, even more important to send an email laying out the terms.